So my friends and I go on a regular sauna tent camping trip out in the woods, and I wanted to make a cool coin to commemorate that trip. I went into ChatGPT and started with a sauna tent, and the designs just weren't getting there. So I took an old photo that I had, which was really cool, and tried to incorporate that into the design. First iteration wasn't very good, but I eventually got there, and I got that JPEG that I was really happy with. Imported that into Inkscape, used that software to map the JPEG, get some vector SVG, and then I took that vector and imported it into my Carbide Create program. With those vectors successfully imported, I got an advanced VCarve toolpath for most of the design. That started with this 1/16 inch downcut bit. I went with a 0.029 inch step over, 0.042 depth per pass, and a 10 plunge rate and a 30 feed rate at inches per minute. That does the sort of perimeter there, as you can see, and then it does the what it can reach in terms of where the V bit doesn't reach. As for the V bit itself, I did a 30-degree V bit, and those speeds and feeds were 0.008 step over, 0.110 depth per pass, 10 inches per minute plunge rate, and 30 inches per minute feed rate. I looked at the simulation, just made sure I was really happy with those depths, and just made sure that everything was looking crisp as it went through, and removed those toolpaths to get a better idea of how that simulation is going to look. I was really happy with how it was going to turn out at that point. So went ahead and started the cut. This is a big cut. We're looking at 6 hours, 20 minutes minimum, and that's just for the first pass of the perimeter and the V pit. So the 16th inch bit went in and did its work on the perimeter, and then we started to do those pocket cuts where the advanced V carve does its work. And from there, we moved into the detail work with the 30-degree V bit. And from at this point, I was really looking forward to seeing the final product. Those initial pockets really make you want to see the final edition of what you're going to build. Um, Many hours later, we're more into the detail work of this 30-degree V bit. You can see it's working its way across. This was a test of patience. About 7 hours I had to wait while this very precision bit did its up and down. You can see how precise it is. It works like a surgeon, working its way through these very detailed bits of the design. And every time it finishes one, well, there's four more to go. But while I'm sitting there watching the machine work, I love watching these motors go back and forth. You can see this machine; it's just such a precise piece of equipment. It's so cool and mesmerizing to watch it work. And yeah, as it goes along, this is where we got to after the V-bit was complete. This walnut really, really brought out those details. There was almost zero chipping. And then we moved into the finishing pass. So in order to do my epoxy pour, I put clear epoxy down first so that the colors don't bleed. And then once I mixed in my mica powder, I put in my self-leveling epoxy, blew out the bubbles, and let that cure. Then we moved into the finishing work where we've got my upcut quarter-inch bit doing the hogging of removing that cured resin back down to the level surface of the wood. And you can see the final design is finally starting to take shape. Um, on the exterior contour, this was about an inch thick cut. It took a lot of passes to get through all of that hard wood, and I put in some tabs to make sure that that thing stayed in place with my double-sided tape as well. And look how beautiful that epoxy made on the edge. Then it was time for sanding, which is all of our favorite bit, and went through 5 different stages of sanding, and then into a early American stain to get that raw wood to soak up a bit of color to make some contrast with the green and blue. Once that stain was on, made sure it was all fully coated and then wiped off the excess. And it's time to finally see what this is going to look like close to the end. And my gosh, the way that this turned out, the sparkle with the mica powder and the stain, really, really happy with this final product. And I think I'm really stoked to bring these pieces to my friends for our camp trip. It's going to commemorate our trip for the year, and hopefully there'll be many more to come.